So this isn't really a lesson in commutative or mechanical equivalence, just because the clock sort of breaks the rules of a twisty puzzle, that being there are no moving parts outside of just the dials and these little pushy buttons. But I think this is more of a lesson on understanding the mechanics of a puzzle rather than applying the sort of mathematical ideas we've seen before. So for starters, this moves. So like when one of these corners turn, it looks at the pin, whether it's up or down, and if it's up, it'll connect to all of those ones around it, and it sort of chains other gears together. So in other words, if this one is up, or turning this dial will only look at these ones, and these ones, and it'll leave this one alone. And it'll also be the same for turning this dial and this dial. And for this one over here, this one will just move independently. However, if we look on the other side, this will actually turn all the ones around it. So, and keeping this in mind will actually be useful. So in other words, if we turn a dial that is connected to an outer pin, then that'll only independently turn the clock. Oh, and by the way, if two pins are down, the corners will match up. So, yeah. And another thing that we have to notice is that corners match up on both sides. So even if this edge and this edge don't line up, if we look at all of the corners, they match each other perfectly. They're actually mirrored in this darker world. So let's start with this side. So the hardest one to manipulate independently is just the middle one, because it always requires an upward pin to reach, and it'll affect other ones. So let's try to have this one match up with an edge piece that's also hard to manipulate. Now that these two edges are matching, let's push this up, and now we'll move this corner out of the way. And now this matches that one, push this up. So now those are matching, we can push both of those up, and now those will match. Now if we push all except one of them up, we can just turn all of these corners independently. And now if we push all of the pins up, we can turn them all upwards, and that's good. Now the hard part is trying to solve this side while not messing up this side. And so remember, when we turn a corner upwards, or when we turn a corner with an up pin, or pin is up, that'll only affect the corner on the other side. And so long as we can only turn these clocks when the pins are up, so we don't make any of these mistakes, we should be good. Yeah. So, and then once we have all of those solved, we can find a way to solve the corners while only making up moves. So let's start by turning this one up, and I want these two to match up. So very similar from what we did before. All of these match up. I'll have these match up. And then I'll have this match up. Now let's turn those all upwards. And, well, actually turning them upwards wasn't so helpful, but now we have to manipulate these corners. And the way we'll do that is we'll push this one down and have all of the other corners come to it. And now, since we've only ever turned the dials while these were up, and the corners are also solved, that means over here must also be solved. All right, thanks for watching.